Welcome to the Fuck Fentanyl podcast. I'm the Fuck Fentanyl guy. And today I have my special guest, Stephan, back on the podcast. How you doing, Stephan?
Good, how are you?
It's so good to have you back on here, man.
Yeah, thank you. It's good to be back on.
You want to just kind of give us a little background about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I've been clean off of any mind-altering substance except for caffeine and nicotine
Oh, yeah.
for since April 15th of 2023. So in that time, well, I'll go back a little bit further than that. I got arrested on September 13th of 2022 by the Sheriff's Department of Rancho San Diego.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
I trudged a little bit of a road, in between that time and the time that I actually have been clean since. So, I did a little bit of time in county jail.
Yeah.
And I was offered a treatment program. And I got released from there sometime in November of that year. And, I was doing all right. I wasn't really changing a lot of behaviors and things like that associated with addiction and using and just obsession and then compulsion, So things didn't work out for me. I was in that treatment center for about 4 months, and I'd signed out with a couple of buddies of mine that I usually hung out with there, and they were pretty good guys, and things didn't work out when we signed out that day. We didn't get back there, and out of the three of us, one of us stayed clean. Two of us were high that night, me being one of them. The morning after that, I think this was sometime in February or March of 2023. So the morning after that happened, I was high, and having been a fentanyl addict now for a couple of years, I started doing that stuff like right before the pandemic had started.
Yeah.
It just seemed like overnight, everyone that was selling heroin was now selling fentanyl.
Right.
So that just became what I could get my hands on, and thinking I could just go back to how I was using it before that wasn't the case. I was overdosed after 2 hits and in the back of an ambulance at Grossmont Hospital, and I'm very fortunate to be here today.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I didn't stop using that day though. I kept on using because I had kind of let that obsession kick in, and then I just had the compulsion to keep doing it. It wasn't going to let an overdose didn't stop me, but I did have like that moment of clarity after a couple of days. I'm staying in some abandoned building with my ex-girlfriend, and I can just see this cycle just about to start all over again, this cycle of misery, and what am I doing with my life? I'm 35 years old, or 34 years old at the time, and I just didn't want it to keep going. And then all of a sudden, my probation officer calls me, and he hears that I had left the program. He heard the circumstances of it, so I wasn't really in trouble, but I needed to go see him.
Yeah.
And I needed to get into another program. And I did that. I tested dirty. I knew I was going to, but he told me, as long as you are making the effort to get into a program, because that was part of my requirement of probation, to complete a residential treatment center and, just not get in trouble. So for me, that was Pathfinders of San Diego.
I see.
And that place did wonders for me. And as it turns out, my uncle is a former alumni of Pathfinders of San Diego.
Nice.
And my grandfather back in the 60s.
It's in the family.
Yeah. For different things,
Yeah.
When I got there, that's where my behavior started to change, and I stayed there for a little over 3 months, and I was really scared to move out of there and move into a sober living. But while I was there, I used to see Nick at a meeting every week.
Yeah.
And we slowly started kind of building a relationship up.
Yeah.
And became friends. And he had an aura about him that I liked right away because I seen him at a meeting. I'm coming there on a druggy buggy, and he's wearing a cowboy hat and he's secretarying a meeting. He's like, hey, what's up, family? My name's Nick and I'm a cowboy. I was like, this guy, dude. Once I was in a sober living, though, that's when I was kind of, I didn't have restrictions. I could kind of do as I pleased. I had curfews and things like that.
Yeah.
But I was able to kind of hang out and get to know him more. And my path was kind of leading me back toward East County.
I see.
So I told him I was about to move into a different sober living. I had been offered an assistant manager position and all that. And he goes, no.
Whoa.
He's like, I'm about to open up a third house.
Oh.
I want you to be my manager.
Full manager.
Yeah. And I was like, well, I've never managed a house before. And, it worked out pretty well, though. He opened up the 2nd Street house.
Yeah.
And in about a month's time, we had all the beds filled, and I had tried to turn it into like a recovery-oriented family environment.
Yeah.
And I think we've done pretty good there. It's up to everybody to make their own choice to whether they're going to stay clean or not, whether they're going to give a different life a chance, and for a lot of us, that's really hard. For me, I was so used to the way I was living and just committing crime every day to get what I needed, but like I had said before, is where my behavior started to change, like for me, I'm no I was never any big shot criminal,
right.
Like I was a booster and a junkie.
Sure.
And for me, it was like the little things, just stop stealing from stores. I think the last thing I ever stole was a pack of highlighters, allegedly. So when I was doing step work with my sponsor and we were reading and going through things, I could highlight stuff, and whatever. But that was like, for me, that was a really big moment. The smallest of things was a really big moment for me that started to change, and I am very involved in recovery. I go to meetings weekly. I have commitments at just about every meeting I go to. I've been of service in other ways, and I always try to be of service and offer guys rides to meetings and just trying to share my story, because I know that anybody can do this. I didn't really start using or drinking at a young age, but the obsession and that compulsion to use quickly evolved with me once I did start doing that,
Absolutely.
And I have a family now. I have a daughter that just turned a year old.
Yeah.
I actually went to my last probation appointment and got off probation on her first birthday.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
It was really, really cool.
That's huge.
Yeah. And I've got a son on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. 2 podcasts you've done. You've had
Yeah, I've been busy.
Hey, dude.
But life is beautiful. I got what I thought was going to be my get well job after I got out of treatment.
Yeah.
And it's turned into a career for me. I love doing what I do. I'm a sheet metal fabricator.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And it's pretty fun. I never thought I was going to use math for anything, but it's not super complicated math, but here I am using math, using my calculator every day and trying to figure things out and make things with my hands, and going home, being a father. I did so I managed the 2nd Street house for 10 months.
Yeah, you did.
And I helped Nick open that house.
Yeah.
And tried to, like I said, turn it into an environment where it was like we were a family, like I wanted everybody to get what I have, and it doesn't happen overnight,
No, it doesn't.
like I knew, so I had gone to, I didn't get arrested until I was 25 years old.
Mm-hmm.
My first arrest was a substance-related DUI.
Yeah.
I had about 6 drugs in my system. I was already well into heroin and meth and all of that other stuff by then.
Yeah.
Then there was a few more arrests after that, just small things, possession charges, shoplifting charges, things like that. And I ended up getting into a treatment center in 2016, and that was my first time ever really sticking and staying for a little bit and kind of getting to know what recovery was about. I know there was men bringing meetings into there that were sharing their experience with us, and but at the time, I didn't think that I identified as an addict or anything like that,
You had to figure it out.
Yeah. I was like, I'm not that bad yet, dude. I just need to get a little bit of clean time off of heroin, and then I can go drink, I can go to shows, and I can be responsible and go to work. Dude, me and my ex got our apartment like beginning of 2018. 6 months later, we were fully hooked on heroin and meth again.
Yeah.
I think once I started doing heroin again, I got arrested within 2 weeks. I lost my job within 3 months, and on my 30th birthday, we moved out of our apartment, and we were homeless.
Yeah.
And it's a quickly progressive disease, man. You get what you have, and it takes a little while to get things back, for me at least.
Yeah.
But I lose things very quickly.
Yeah.
And I don't like to lose them. I don't like to really be that person. I never thought when I was a kid, I'm going to grow up and be a junkie,
Right.
But that was where I got my first instance of what meetings were like and recovery and all that. And I didn't think it was for me, like I said. And then I wound up back there pretty beaten down in 2022, 2023.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I think I did enough experimenting and exploring and figured out that I can't do this on my own, So I need help from others. And that's what recovery homes and sober livings and all that are for,
Absolutely, dude.
to help us get back on track, and we need people to guide us, and I, as young as I am, I tried to be, I'm not a counselor, I'm not a therapist, but I tried to be a good, someone to look up to, good example to live by, just doing the next right thing, doing the next right indicated step, and just being a good man,
That's it. Yeah. Is there any advice you would give somebody that's struggling right now, trying to get into recovery?
Yeah. I mean, it is hard, for me. Unfortunately, it took a pair of handcuffs.
Sure.
But it doesn't have to be like that. You can, if you're struggling and you're miserable out there, go to a meeting, get to know some people. And as someone told me when I was in treatment, you have to get out there and find your tribe, and I guarantee you, if you go to a meeting, doesn't matter what 12-step based meeting it is, guarantee you someone's going to come up to you there and introduce themselves and say hi, and maybe even give you their phone number or take you out to eat afterwards. You got to find people to help you get through that initial phase, because that urge to use will pass.
Yeah.
It takes a little while. My sponsor says all the time, we don't think our way into a new way of living. We have to live our life into a new way of thinking.
Absolutely.
And that's it. It takes a little while to do that. Like when I was out there, I knew that once I did get arrested and caught the case that was going to just land me in jail for a little while, that it was going to be a long, hard road to trudge to get to where I need to be as a man, and I'm barely getting there. I'm still a kid, but it's definitely worth it,
Hell yeah, dude. Well, thank you so much for coming on here, brother.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Hell yeah. You're an excellent representation of SD sober living, man.
Thank you.
I mean, when we were picking out success stories, I was like, gotta be Stephan. Man held it down for my events, man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well,
I appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Stay humble, punk rock.
Hell yeah. Fuck fentanyl.
Fuck fentanyl, man.